Hello, welcome to Astronautic for Exploit. This is Dr. Ayoshala Ogudele. Lunar exploration future missions to unravel hidden lunar natural resources for the benefit of humankind. The focus points of my presentation are as follows: lunar exploration future missions and list of lunar exploration future missions. Over the millennia, the moon has been a source of imagination. And up to this present moment, the moon has been explored via numerous robotic machines, landers, and rovers. Through moon exploration, humans have learned about the evolution of the solar system and its connection to human existence in the universe. An example of the moon imagination can be found in the work of Arthur Clarke, a science fiction writer who in 1954 proposed a lunar base of inflatable models covered in lunar dust for installation. The concept involves assembling a spaceship in low Earth orbit and launching it to the moon. In 1959, John Rinehart also imagined and suggested that the safest concept of a moon base would be a structure that could float in a stationary ocean of dust. For better understanding of moon's geological composition and nature of its abundant natural resources for possible future extraction, various future missions are lined up. Some of the planned future lunar exploration missions are Lunar Trailblazer, Intuitive Martian 1, Chinese 6, Viper, Artemis, and Beresit 2. The Lunar Trailblazer mission is aimed at understanding the form, abundance, and distribution of water on the moon, and the lunar water cycle, assess time variability of lunar volatiles, and how localized gradients in albedo and surface temperature affect ice and water concentration. It will help to forge a path for humans to safely return to the moon. The Intuitive Martian 1 mission aims to deliver science and technology payloads to the moon's surface, laying the groundwork for sustainable human presence and commercial development of the moon. The Chinese mission, a robotic expedition to the moon, is a planned lander designed to return samples from the lunar South Pole. Lunar exploration future missions. Presently, various government space agencies, private space companies, and private organizations are mapping out strategies and plans to launch more rovers, landers, and humans to the moon in the future. The planned future lunar rovers and landers missions are aimed at mapping the lunar surface, understanding its geology, research on human survivability on the lunar surface. The picture here shows illustration of astronauts working on the moon. List of lunar exploration future missions. There are various future missions lined up, and some of them are Lunar Trailblazer, Intuitive Martian 1, Chinese 6, Viper, Artemis, and Beresit 2. The Lunar Blazer is a planned NASA moon water mapper, small lunar orbiter. It is a part of NASA's simplest program, which will detect and map water on the lunar surface so as to determine how its form, abundance, and location relate to geology. The goal of the planned mission is to use a small satellite to map water on the moon. The picture here illustrates Trailblazer mapping the moon's water concept. We show how Lunar Trailblazer remote sensing data can distinguish between water in the form of ice crystals from mineral band states. Lunar Trailblazer scientific objectives are to measure and map the amount, location, and form of hydroxy, water or ice of lunar water and determine any correlation to latitude and surface makeup. To study the time variability of lunar water in sunlit portions of the moon and to determine the form, amount, and location of lunar water in permanently shadowed parts of the moon. The picture here illustrates NASA's Lunar Trailblazer. Water and hydrogen detection. Trailblazer has an infrared spectrometer to detect water and hydrogen molecules based on how the moon's surface reflects and absorbs infrared light. Trailblazer's high-resolution maps of the amount and distribution of the moon's polar water ice and how much of it exists as ice crystals versus being mineral band will provide scientists with the geologic context which is necessary to conduct and interpret future studies from the surface. Illustration of Lunar Brazier, a pioneering smallsat for investigation of lunar water and lunar geology, is shown in this picture. Intuitive Mission 1 is another future lunar exploration mission. The Intuitive Mission 1 mission will be the company's first attempted lunar landing as part of NASA's Commercial Lunar Payload Services Initiative, which is a key part of NASA's Artemis lunar exploration efforts. The science and technology payloads sent to the moon surface as part of the CLPS is intended to lay the foundation for human missions and a sustainable human presence on the lunar surface. Illustration of Intuitive Machine's first lunar landing mission is shown in this picture. The Intuitive Mission 1 mission is bound for the moon's south pole and is targeting a landing site near the Malaparte crater, which is located at 80.4 degrees south and was chosen for its generally flat landscape. Artist illustration of Intuitive Machine's Novosel lunar lander on the moon is shown in this picture. Chai 6 is another lunar exploration future mission. It's a planned robotic Chinese lunar exploration mission which is expected to be launched in 2024. It will attempt second sample return mission. The mission will attempt to obtain the first ever soil and rock samples from the lunar far side and return it to the Earth. The primary phase of the mission is expected to last for about 53 days. Chai 6 mission concept is shown in this picture. The mission payloads of Chai 6 are detection of outgassing radon to study the transport of lunar dust and other volatiles between the lunar regolith and the lunar exosphere, including the water cycle. Instrument for landing roving laser retroreflector investigations, which consist in a passive laser retroreflector to be used for laser range finding of the lander, negative ions on lunar surface, an instrument to detect and measure negative ions reflected by the lunar surface, an ice cube CubeSat to detect ice traces on the lunar surface. The photo here illustrates a simulated animation of the Chai 6 probe. Viper is another future lunar exploration endeavor. NASA's Artemis lunar rover, the Volatiles Investigating Polar Exploration rover, it will explore the relatively nearby but extreme environment of the moon in search of ice and other potential resources. Viper mobile robot will land at the south pole of the moon in late 2024 on a 100-day mission. The critical information it provides will teach us about the origin and distribution of water on the moon and help determine how we can harvest the moon resources for future human space exploration. Illustration of the Viper rover to be delivered by the astrobotic to the south polar region of the moon is shown in this picture. NASA will use the data the rover collects to show where the moon's ice is most likely to be found and easiest to access, making Viper the first ever resource mapping mission on another celestial body. The first resource maps of the moon will mark a critical step forward for NASA's Artemis missions in order to establish a long-term presence on the surface of the moon. Artist's concept of NASA's Volatiles Investigating Polar Exploration rover is shown in this picture. Artemis program is a moon exploration program which is led by NASA and was formerly established in 2017 via Space Policy Directive 1. The Artemis program is intended to re-establish a human presence on the moon for the first time since Apollo 17, 1972. Artemis' long-term goal is to establish a permanent base on the moon so as to facilitate human missions to the Mars. NASA's Space Launch System rocket carrying Orion spacecraft is shown in this picture. The Artemis program is divided into Artemis 1, Artemis 2, and Artemis 3. Artemis 1 was the first in a series of increasingly complex missions that will enable human exploration at the moon and future missions to Mars. It was an uncrewed flight test of the Space Launch System and the Orion spacecraft around the moon and was launched on November 16, 2022. The mission duration was 25 days, 10 hours, and 53 minutes. The picture here shows Artemis 1 mission trajectory. Artemis 2 will be the first crewed flight test of the Space Launch System and the Orion spacecraft around the moon. The Artemis 2 flight test will be NASA's first moon with crew under Artemis and will pave way to land the first woman and next man on the moon on Artemis 3. Planning is underway for a regular cadence of Artemis missions with crew on and around the moon through Artemis 3 program. Artist illustration of Orion spacecraft in lunar orbit is shown in this picture. Artemis 2 will be the first crewed flight test of the launch system and Orion spacecraft. The picture here shows moon image as captured by the Orion spacecraft. Beresik 2 is another planned lunar exploration future mission. It's a private space mission intended to land two spacecraft on the moon in 2025. As the spacecraft reaches the moon, it will split into three: the mothership, orbital, and two landers that will be released for landing at different locations on the moon. The orbital will continue to orbit the moon on a long-term multi-year mission, and this will be the first ever dual lander deployment mission with the smallest landers to ever soft land on the moon. A model of the original Beresik lander is shown in this picture. The Beresik 2 orbital will give many students worldwide the opportunity to learn the basics of space engineering and participate in deep space science. Through its innovative design, Beresik 2 orbital will serve as the first ever worldwide interactive space education system. The project will include multiple educational activities for all ages and an outreach program that will connect and push these messages to the public in the partnering countries. An artist's concept of the Beresik lunar lander on the moon is shown in this picture. For more information, contact Astronautic for Exploits. You've been watching and listening to Lunar Exploration Future Missions to unravel hidden lunar natural resources for the benefit of humankind, presented by Dr. Ayoshola Ogundele, with the focus points: Lunar Exploration Future Missions and list of Lunar Exploration Future Missions. Thank you.